Good, slightly later afternoon, lads and lassies. It's the Irish Demon here, the unfortunately third most handsome beardsman, which I still think is bullshit. I demand a recount, okay? I think there's been voter fraud of a massive scale that has ever been, maybe ever. Anyway, let's get on with the show. Part 2, this turns into a bit of a fucking dumpster fire, so, warm up your hands here, lads and lassies.
Triggered. I know your religion's falling apart. Take a big gulp, buddy.
I don't have a religion, but I do hate when people lie to me and tell me that I do. Being against religion is not a religion. Being against faith is not a faith. I wish you guys would get that, but you understand that you can't defend your religious position, so you have to pretend that every other position is religious too. No, it's not. My position is based on science, which means that I have predictive models and they can be falsified. Yours can't be. Yours makes no predictions, has no evidence, and can't be falsified. Yours is a religious belief. Mine is not. I can demonstrate that mine is not using your model.
Can I ask a question now? I know you're triggered. Take a big gulp, Aaron. It's going to get better.
I'm not triggered. Don't be.
Trigger cam.
Matt James, moderator, please. Hello. Can I ask a question now?
Yeah, we're waiting for you. Go ahead. You're telling Aaron.
I love how he literally says, "You're getting triggered, Aaron," and then he goes, "Moderator." He gets so triggered. Aaron's just there like, what is wrong with this fucking guy? Oh, man.
Triggered. Go ahead and ask your question.
Yeah, he's lying about how I'm triggered and lying about how I have a religion and all of that. If that's all he can do, why did you platform this guy?
For that sweet dumpster fire super chat money. No other reason.
Aaron, do you have any scientific evidence of the R value?
Of the who?
Of the R value for your heliocentric religion?
I don't have a religion.
All right.
And if you keep lying about me, then I don't have any other reason to be here. If your only way of debating is to lie about your opponent, then there's no point in it. Now, no, I don't intend to argue from physics at all. I have whole other arguments that I can bring up against your model on how I have tested it. Now, if you'd like to hear about those, I can go into those.
Well, Aaron, I define religion as a set of beliefs, not based on empirical evidence, but based on the doctrine of man. Now, you talked about capital.
Okay, I don't have that
Why are you interrupting me, moderator?
I'm sorry, I don't have that either.
Okay,
I don't have that. I don't have a religion.
Why don't we
fix the fault in your perception and accept I don't have a religion?
We do want to
stop lying about me so we can continue.
What was the argument that you wanted to give Nathan?
Wait, I presented a question. Does he have any evidence of the R value?
No, I told him I wasn't going to argue from point of physics, that I had other arguments for this.
So, when I ask a question, do you have any evidence of the R value? You're just going to
Yes, I do have evidence, but it's not that. I don't have evidence from physics. I'm not going to argue from physics. I'm not a physicist. I'm going to argue from other points.
Aaron?
What?
Are you just going to concede you don't have any evidence? Next topic?
No, I have evidence, and I'm trying to present it, but you keep stopping me.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'll mute.
Aaron mentioned...
I was interrupting him, James. He was going to give evidence for the R value.
Yes, and again, I said I'm not going to argue mathematics or physics. I'm going to argue other arguments, and I would like to present them, but he doesn't want to hear those because they involve his model. Falsifying his model is not what he's about. He's not going to allow that.
So you can't answer my question if you have any evidence for the R value?
No, I don't have any evidence for the R value. I'm not going to argue from physics or mathematics. I have other arguments.
We can just get rid of that one. Do you want to ask me a question, Aaron?
Yes. Well, no, I wanted to give you the evidence that I had given you before when you lied about me again by saying that I never tested your model when I did. So look at your map. Look at your polar projection map. Look at Australia. Do you see it?
I asked for evidence. You went out and observed a globe.
I'm giving you that evidence, or I'm trying to give you that evidence. I'm having this trouble. I'm trying to get you to look at it, and you're trying not to see it. So,
Aaron, let me be very clear.
Point your head toward the map.
All right, let me be very clear.
Look at your map. Let me be very clear.
I don't have a map. Moderator.
You don't have a map of your own model.
One second.
So as always, the standards are completely out of whack. The flat earther demands all of this evidence from the heliocentrist But when we ask them for any evidence, like, no, I asked you a question. Stop galloping. It's always the same bullshit, man. There's really no point arguing with these morons anymore. Talking about arguing with morons, though, I will say this. I would still love to have a good argument with you, Tradior. He commented on my last video. I've pinned it. Go back and have a look.
So you're using a polar projection map. You're not. So you gave me neither a model nor a map. Okay, you meet neither of the criteria.
Straw manning a model. Oh, you're going to leave?
James, I set up the criteria that he had to produce both.
You're going to leave?
He had to produce a model and a map. And I said that if he failed to produce either one of them, then he would not meet the criteria.
Why are you
here? So now
here?
He's saying that I was going to allow that I can get him to describe his model using his map. He won't do that. Now he's telling me that he won't even side with the map he sent me. No, he's got nothing. He failed the minimum criteria. I agreed I would not come on this show unless he produced both. He's produced neither. I'm gone.
I have nothing.
You have nothing. Argument. That's correct. If you don't have a model that shows predictions that you can verify, then you've got butt kiss. Nothing.
It's a straw man. It's a reification fallacy. It's a fallacy. Come on, Nathan. Don't beat around the bush. You lied to get AronRa to come on to debate you. You told him you had a model, you sent him a map, and then you said you weren't going to fucking use it. You are a dishonest piece of shit. Everybody knows you are. At least just admit it.
It's a reification fallacy. Look how triggered you are. No. Why can't we talk about science, Aaron? Why can't we talk about empirical evidence?
I can, but I'm not. I've made this arrangement with James. I put minimum criteria on here. This jackass failed both.
Nathan, would it be fair? Would you concede that you don't have those things, or would you actually argue you do?
I don't subscribe to a model. He does.
Yep, I
don't subscribe to a map either. I'm not a cartographer. Those are not my arguments that I have a map. My arguments are the Earth doesn't curve, it doesn't spin, and we can't have gas pressure without a container. Now, Aaron, if you don't want to talk about any of my points, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Oh yeah, but if you have to have a point first. You have to have both a model and a map. You have neither. You have nothing.
Falsification is independent of replacement.
Sorry, you have to have something to falsify. You presented nothing.
Your model that says we spin 1,040 miles an hour.
Yeah, I can prove that using your map, and I can show that. But you're not going to because you came here unprepared, sir.
You can prove we spin using my flat stationary map.
Yep.
Oh well, that's a cool story. What's the proof that we rotate?
Why don't we? Is there anything from the opening that you guys from either opening? Just that he accused me in one of his previous presentations of being a Coriolis denier while expressing how he does not know what the fuck Coriolis is. And it's amazing that his description was so goddamn ignorant, yet he was criticizing me and saying that I was a denialist because he doesn't know what the fuck it is.
Well, Aaron, you call yourself a science communicator. Why don't you communicate for the audience?
Communicate the science. Okay, this is the one thing I'm doing. This is the one thing I'll do.
Why are you interrupting me again? Why can't you just exercise some impulse control? Maybe drink a little more, Aaron. Okay? Wait for me to finish speaking.
No.
Yep. That would be great, Aaron.
I'm not going to platform this guy who can't show up with any of the minimum criteria.
Why don't you?
I was going to defend the Coriolis explanation because this guy clearly doesn't know what the hell it is. After debating some supposedly 10,000 people, citing the Coriolis many, many times, and he doesn't know what the fuck it is? No, I'm not platforming this asshole anymore. He came with nothing, and you were supposed to guarantee that he would have both, or I'm out. And now he's saying that the thing he sent me, he didn't send me. And he's not going to stand by it. No, fuck him.
I just didn't say it was
an accurate map. He's got nothing falsifiable. He's got nothing testable. We've literally got nothing to talk about.
And that's the big problem with their argument. There is really nothing to talk about. They never present actual evidence that people can break down. They just shout rhetoric at you and then project that onto you, saying that you're shouting rhetoric back. The difference is we have demonstrable evidence in incredible amounts. They have nothing, absolutely nothing. They say they don't subscribe to a map because they don't want to be called out on their bullshit. So much stuff doesn't work on the flat earth map. The distances don't work, the stars don't work, the sun and moon doesn't work in any way at all. Like, I would love to hear why they think, or how they think the sun and the moon stay up there. Oh, apparently it's not physical. It's made out of imagination, which is, again, one of the funniest things I've ever heard. Yeah, let's just hear what they got to say.
Well, you're the one running away. I still have to talk about second law of thermodynamics and the Coriolis.
The fuck you know about that?
Now you're interrupting me.
Okay, hold on one second.
I know you're triggered.
So why don't we do this?
See, all he can do then is insult me and lie about me, and that's it. He doesn't have a model. He doesn't have a map. He doesn't have anything falsifiable. All he can do is the argument from incredulity, where he tries to show how he doesn't understand something so that he thinks he can put me on the defensive. No, if he's going to be arguing a scientific position, and this is not a religious position like he lies to make it out to be, it's a scientific position, which means he has to bring a theory that accounts for all of the data better. And that theory had better been able to make predictions that we can verify. He's got nothing. So he's literally nothing to talk about. We have nothing to debate about.
James, they don't have a model. They don't have a map to show us either that's accurate.
Yes, we do.
Are you absolutely fucking kidding me? We don't have a map or a model that works, except for the fact that all of our maps and models work. No matter where you go on the planet, you can map that out on a globe and it works perfectly. Every single time. Not on your fucking flying DVD that you got going on over there. Nothing works on that whatsoever.
Oh, you do?
You've seen globes. We all have globes. I can look up Google Earth right now and show you a globe.
I know you
got in fact, in this discussion, I'd intended to do that when I was going to show you several giant gaping holes in the map that you sent me, which you now deny that you sent me. So if you give me nothing that we can test, we literally have nothing to say.
All right.
So we're done.
I don't deny that I sent you it. I said it's not accurate. I said I can't guarantee.
So you're not going to stand by your own basis. For your position. You're not going to stand by.
The basis for my position is you got to pay attention, Aaron. Listen, I know you're going to interrupt me.
I know. We've already discussed this. The only basis you have is the argument from incredulity, where you get to explain how you don't understand how real science works, and you can't participate in real science either. I'm done.
Again, I think the irony is lost on Nathan when he calls somebody triggered while he's going, moderator, he's not letting me talk. Moderator.
I'm out. I'm not playing this fucking game.
All right, hold on. Pardon my interruption. So, is that why don't we do this? We've done this before. Thanks to Vosh versus Sargon, sometimes we switch into like 2 or 3 minute intervals, and so that's something that I think will help keep this orderly.
Commanding that I have all of this information for whatever field he wants to argue, but he doesn't have anything falsifiable on his own. He doesn't have anything where we can show that his doesn't work. The moon the moon is not physical, and it's stuck to a firmament that doesn't exist, and I don't know anything about it, and I don't have a map, and I don't have a model, and I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. My head is up my own ass, but you're triggered because you have a beer in front of you? Fuck you.
Yeah, Nathan. Fuck you.
You are triggered, Aaron. Please, just take a deep breath. I wanted you to
fuck off.
Since you're a science communicator.
Yeah, I am. And you are not. You're a religious apologist, and that's all you
keep
are.
Interrupting me.
All right, I think
moderator.
we're drifting off topic.
Okay? He just keeps interrupting.
Basically,
we're going to drift off more than that.
Let's come back.
Please,
so
I was in the middle of talking.
Hold on 1 second. Hold on a second. Hold on, guys. I'm so sorry that I had to mute you just to try to get that. We can't. Nobody can hear you.
By his map. Fuck you.
Drink it up.
I'm gone.
So one moment.
Yeah. So could the science communicator define Coriolis?
And that's where it ends. So just a couple of points. As you guys know, I'm a huge AronRa fan. I think he's just an awesome guy, very entertaining to watch. I thoroughly enjoyed that whole thing between him and Kent Hovind. That was awesome, and I hope it continues for sure. And that time that I thought he was genuinely going to tear Kent Hovind's son's head off. But anyway, thing here is I don't blame him for leaving. He came in, he was being insulted, he was lied to as a premise to get him to come on the show in the first place. And Nathan was just completely incapable of any form of reasonable conversation, let alone an actual proper debate. The only downside, I guess, to Aaron leaving was that now Nathan's going to claim victory, as he already has done on his YouTube channel, quite laughably, actually. He didn't realize that somebody left because he was so disingenuous. That's not a win in anybody's book. That's a loss. You make yourself look like a bigger loser. Now, the only problem here is most of his supporters are going to be like, well done, Nathan. Even though they would do that anyway, regardless of whether he actually won or not. This is pigeon chess. For those of you who aren't familiar with pigeon chess, it's when a pigeon walks all over a chessboard, knocks everything over, shits on it, flies away, and says that they won. That's exactly what happened here. He was disingenuous. He tried to kind of get Aaron to get angry. So many times he mentioned about like drinking, pull your hair back, religion, getting triggered, etc., etc., etc. There's a difference between getting angry and pissed off because you've been lied to and being triggered. Being triggered is going, moderator, moderator, every time somebody questions you because you're fucking lying. Getting angry and leaving is a totally different thing. Now, you could call it triggered. Maybe he was a bit triggered, but I don't fucking blame him. There's an actual difference. There's a reason why that happened. I gotta say, guys, I used to love modern day debates. I used to watch it literally every morning. I would drop Mrs. Demon to work. I would come home, do my uni work and my other work from when I was working from home, and I would listen to modern day debates. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But as time went on, I just found that there was no moderation, little to no moderation. It just wasn't very well run. And sadly, I have actually unsubscribed. Platforming people like Nathan Thompson and G-Man, I don't approve of it. And it's just not something I want to be a part of. So I tend not to watch modern day debates. Obviously, I watched this one. Also, you know, like after this, you know, Nathan stayed on for like an hour and a half. I didn't watch it. And it was purely just, you know, a super chat gathering exercise, in my opinion. Now, there's nothing wrong with getting super chats, hint, hint. Not at all. When you're providing something that's reasonable and people actually want to see. Nobody wants to sit there and listen to Nathan Thompson ramble on for 2 hours. So yeah, lads and lassies, thank you so much for stopping in for part 2 of this video. I wouldn't say there was a win or a loss either way on this one, because I just felt like it was a non-event really in the end. It started out on a false premise of him having a model, and so there was really nothing to argue, as Aaron said, so why would he waste his time? He's a very sought after individual, and people, you know, look for him to go on their shows all the time. He was really cool yesterday on I think was it Fight or Teams channel, one of their channels, twinsies, and yeah, he was really cool, but you could tell obviously he couldn't stay around for too long. JL Warren was on there too, who did an absolutely awesome job. So yeah, with that, lads and lassies, thank you so much. I don't have any drink left in my can, so I'll vape a sláinte to you. Sláinte, gur mila maithagad.